is my first time speaking in front of such a large audience. And so before I stepped onto the stage today, I had a lot of different feelings. I was excited and I was nervous, but most of all, I was scared. I was scared that my mind was just going to completely blank out and forget everything that I had planned to say. And I was scared that I was going to mess up and embarrass myself in front of all these people. And as a senior student in high school, I am also scared of lots of different other challenges, like all of my upcoming deadlines and exams, or the choices that I have to make that will eventually determine the course of my life after graduation. Without a doubt, fear of all these different things is definitely uncomfortable. And for many years, I perceived fear as a negative emotion, which I tried to avoid or deny at all costs. But now, as I approach the age of 18 and prepare myself to enter adulthood, I am determined to renew my relationship with fear. So let's ask ourselves this question: what exactly is fear? Olympic champion Eileen Gu described fear as a combination of excitement, uncertainty, and pressure. But with that said, today I would like to propose a fourth dimension of fear, and that is joy. I believe joy to be the defining feature of fear, distinguishing it from pure dread or horror. Joy is my reward when I behold my excitements, endure the suspense of uncertainty, and overcome the pressure that comes from the sources of my fears. I believe that fear and joy are codependent upon one another, because my fears are actually rooted upon my insecure anticipations of joy. And at the same time, the feeling of joy would be pretty meaningless if it wasn't for the uneasy sense of fear that came before it. I realized fear was really just an unnecessary step for me to experience joy to its fullest. And therefore, I strive to utilize my own fears for my own advantage. So when we talk about fear, our immediate reaction will be to panic, because as humans, we are intuitively averse to loss. What that means is that we tend to put more weight on the dissatisfaction of a loss over the satisfaction of an equivalent gain. So during times of fear, we often become fixated over the risk of losing while overlooking potential joys that can arise. I realized perhaps I was over-exaggerating my own fears, making the situation seem a whole lot worse than it really is, just to protect myself from the slightest possibility of getting hurt by a bad result. But by doing so, I was also depriving myself of the opportunity to really reach for joy. So now I would like to share something that I've been doing myself lately to overcome my aversion to fear, and that is the FOOP thinking method. I start by identifying the source of my fear. For example, I have a university interview next week, and that is a major source of fear for me right now. Then I picture the best outcome, the best case scenario. So for me, I really want to meet a professor who I can really connect with and have a really nice conversation with him during my interview. I then try to imagine the sense of joy that I will feel in that ideal interview and really try to implement that sensation into my head. The next O stands for obstacle. I ask myself, what obstacles would I need to overcome in order to make that idealistic interview realistically possible? So I will definitely need to do some extra reading over the weekend and also practice my conversation skills. And finally, I plan. I plan out the actions that I am going to take to tackle the obstacles that I have just identified in order to attain the sense of joy that I had pictured for myself. I found that through this process of fear, obstacle, outcome, obstacle, and plan. I am amplifying the joy component for myself. I can clearly see the gains that I can acquire, and that motivates me to tackle the challenges in life despite my fear. And maybe that is the reason why I decided to give this talk today, despite being so scared of it, because I know that the sense of joy which I will feel afterwards will be far more rewarding. So the next time you feel scared, remember, fear is never your enemy, but an opportunity to reach for joy. Thank you.